All of a sudden, my passenger door swings open. The guy jumps up with a mask, and he's got a pistol. Sticks it into my rib cage. He's like, put your hands on the steering wheel. He grabs my head, and then he pistol whips me.
This is Hard Knocks Talks.
Arend, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, where are you from?
Pechawis, Nehewak, First Nation. Yes.
So, tell me what it was like growing up in Misty.
Well, I actually never did live on my First Nation. I was always raised in the urban community, being raised from my single mother.
Here in Saskatoon?
Saskatoon, well, born in Edmonton, moved to Regina, moved to Saskatoon, moved to Regina, moved to Victoria, back to Regina, and then eventually Saskatoon.
Wow.
Yeah, constantly moving. I was usually the new kid at my schools.
Oh, yeah. Drugs and alcohol part of your life growing up early on?
With my mother, there wasn't. But with my mother's side of uncles, aunties, my late grandmother, there was a lot of it. Mm-hmm. And then as well on my father's side, there was a lot of boozing and drugging and stuff like that. But for my mom's house, she tried her best to keep that environment out of our household.
Was it in your peripherals? Did you see it happening? Like, was there violence? Was there disorder, or were you pretty sheltered?
So violence, yes, there was violence. I did witness my mother being physically abused, beat up, choked, thrown around, thrown on the table.
Did you think that that's what normal looked like?
To witness something like that go down, I was very scared. I wasn't sure what to do, but at the time, I just remember sitting down in my basement and hearing all kinds of racket going on upstairs and banging and yelling and swearing. And so I went upstairs that one time. We were living in Regina at the time. And I came upstairs and I seen my mom being choked on the kitchen table in our kitchen area with two hands from that man. And I just remember looking at that and screaming and yelling and telling him to get off and all of these things. And I just remember my mom looking at me and the look that she had on her face was very, very heartbreaking because she tried her best to not allow me to see something like this. Honestly, at that age, all I wanted was for my mom to be okay. All I wanted was for my mom to be treated the way that she deserved to be treated. But as a kid at that age, I was still too young to really understand any of that kind of lifestyle. So to me, I always stuck by my mother, though. I was always there to be there for her, like she was always there for me, because like I said, I was raised from a single mother, and to this day she's been the only person who's been a part of my life.
Did you have trouble trusting men like that come around your mom after seeing that?
Oh, to this day I still have troubles trusting people in general, but yeah, particularly men as well, due to what had happened, and then me obviously finding out about my late father and my mom's relationship as well. Again, she endured all of that with my father, constantly beat up and thrown around and tossed and choked. And I'm definitely thankful for my mother to be where she is today.
Yeah,
she's come a very long ways from where she once was.
So where did the substance use start for you then?
I would say I started drinking grade 7 at school, actually. A friend of mine would go home, take alcohol from his father's cabinet, fill it up with water, bring that vodka back to school, and then we would go dip out at lunchtime and go to the alley and have some drinks. And then I would come back to school and I was feeling feeling the buzz. And I remember how happy I felt. It's like, it was almost like I'm able to escape my mind, escape my reality, escape the truth. So now, obviously, skipping school, not taking my work serious, parties on weekends. All of a sudden, the beer turns into hard alcohol, the hard alcohol, and now beer and shots. Everything is being combined. I'm basically drinking anything I could get my hands on at this time, being an underage kid, to a point to where my blackouts would start happening. Grade 9, grade 10, grade 11. Ended up dropping out of high school, got kicked out of every high school I attended in the city. And then eventually the substance abuse from alcohol now started mixing in with drugs and cocaine and acid and mushrooms, and
Did the people around you start changing?
They did, yes, because I tell you, when I was under the influence, I turned into an ugly individual. All that hurt and pain that I carried now was being unleashed, and it was being unleashed to the people who were around me because I was hurting. I was so broken inside. I was shattered inside. I didn't know how to talk about my issues and my problems that had happened within my life. Man, I tell you, Daniel, I've heard a lot of people who truly cared for me. I didn't know how to maintain friendships due to my childhood of constantly moving and being the new kid at schools. If I felt any kind of hurt coming from somebody towards me, I would make sure that they're going to feel the wrath of that hurt 5 times than how they hurt me.
What was it? Like, what happened that led up to the decision to get sober?
The biggest thing that I would have to say would be my father's passing. I was at the hospital that day holding his right hand when he took his last 2 breaths. Because of my dad's lifestyle of substance abuse, of hardcore drugs. He liked his needles, he smoked the heroin, all of it. I remember standing at the foot of his bed, his late wife's brother and his girlfriend came to give their respects. That female overdosed, and she hit the floor right beside me, and she started doing the chicken. And I just remember looking down at this female and having so much mixed emotions of why would you come here in this state when my father's lying on his deathbed because of this lifestyle. And the boyfriend slapped the girl twice in her face, hard, and then she snapped out of it. And he stood her up. And after that, they just calmly left the room. 20 minutes after my dad took his last 2 breaths, I had one of my cousins who was lost in his addictions come ask me for $20. And I just remember reaching into my pocket and I just kind of threw it at him. And I walked away. After Dad passed, I took 8 months of hardcore drinking and hardcore cocaine use because the man who I always wanted to be a part of his life now is moving on to the spirit world, and I'm now realizing that I don't have that opportunity to build that relationship with him anymore. My mom called me from Phoenix and she said, I'm flying to Saskatoon. I said, okay. So she came and we sat in my living room and I was sober and we were talking and she says, son, she says, it's time for you to stop focusing on what you've lost. And it's time to start focusing on what you still have. And those words just resonated with me, and they hit me where it needed to hit me.
Mm.
And then I started doing some self-reflection and looking back at my relationship with my father and how absent he was. And now I'm doing this to my kids for the first time. So that was an eye-opener. So some time goes on, and I'm slowly trying to get onto that sober train. I was a poker player. I played poker professionally for 10 years. And that was my source of income. I used to be a drug dealer. Everything was in Saskatoon. Well, mind you, I did travel to Pechawis quite a few times, my home reserve, to dump
Chief,
products.
if you're listening, don't
yes, please.
slip away for a minute.
Please.
Yeah.
Earmuffs. So now, I was all in the city, basically trafficking my cocaine. I would go to bars and be able to dump 20 grams, no problem.
Were you gang involved?
Never gang involved, but I did know people who were.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me. I never ever did jump into a gang. I have a bunch of family members who are in gangs within Saskatoon. So anyways, now with the cocaine use, there was 2005, 2006, with my selling of drugs. I actually stole a vehicle. It was my ex-partner's vehicle at the time. I was on a 4-day binge. I had roughly 9.9 grams individually bagged cocaine in a bigger bag. And we were drinking at Uncle Barley's that night, me and a couple buddies. The bar closed. I took my buddies home. I realized I'd dropped my wallet. I went back to Uncle Barley's, and this must have been 3 something in the morning, looking for my wallet. I can't find it. I get back into the car. All of a sudden, my passenger door swings open. The guy jumps up with a mask, and he's got a pistol. Sticks it into my rib cage on my right side. I'm like, whoa. He's like, put your hands on the steering wheel. He grabs my head, and then he pistol whips me. I got a big cut up here on my lip, and I started immediately gushing blood that night. So, funny thing is this all happened so quickly. I see a set of headlights pull up. I look over, and they have 2 security guards working in the security patrol car. And they see my face all bloody, so they pull up behind me. The guy who holds me at gunpoint puts the gun in his pocket, opens up the passenger door, and just slowly walks out behind that little strip mall where Uncle Barley's used to be on Northumberland. So I get out, and I was like, yeah, this guy just pulled a gun on me, blah, blah, blah. So they tell me, just get in the car, drive away. I'm on a 4-day binge. I'm not thinking properly. I jump in this car. I hit 33rd. I take a left. Cherries spark up behind me. I reach into my pocket, and I start unloading all of these individual bags of cocaine under the car seat. Now, mind you, I don't have a license. I'm in a stolen vehicle. I'm hammered out of my head. I have open alcohol, and I got this cocaine.
And you're gushing blood.
And I'm gushing blood from my mouth.
That is a rough Friday night, my friend.
Right? Yeah. So now the cop pulls me over, and I was like, hey, man, I don't have a license. This is my name. Take me to jail. So I'm trying to get him to get me out of the vehicle as fast as possible, into cuffs, into the backseat of the patrol car, because I don't want him to find that product under the driver's seat.
So you're wise at this time. Like, you knew what you were doing.
I'm still thinking. I always had that hustler mentality growing up.
Yeah.
Never a gangster, never a killer, but a hustler. So now he gets me out, and has me up against the back of the cop car. And there's another officer who's kind of snooping around the stolen vehicle. And I have my hand in my pocket, and I find one baggie of cocaine that fell out of the big bag that I had forgot.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay. So I nonchalantly reach it out, drop it, step on it with my foot while he's kind of pushing me forward, and I slide my left foot under the car. So the officer who was arresting me is arresting me, and the officer who was snooping around, he's like, hey, what was that? So now he comes over with his flashlight, gets on his hands and knees,
Mm-hmm.
and he pulls out this little bag, this little gram of coke, and he's waving it like me. And I was just, it's not mine, officer. So now handcuff me, put me in the car. They go search the vehicle. All of a sudden they come out and they got 10 bags waving in front of me like this.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the beginning. That was the beginning to the heavy criminal charges that I had received back in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
I was attending SIT at the time, taking my Adult 12 program.
So despite all this, you were still trying to get your life together.
I was somewhat
Okay.
kind of, in between still.
Yeah.
But I did have goals and I did have aspirations, but I never believed in myself at this time.
Mm-hmm.
But I was still trying to put efforts in for a better life.
Mm-hmm.
For my kids, right? For myself, for my mother. So after all of this,
You go to jail? No.
I did go to
You
correctional.
did. Okay.
They held me in the correctional. I was there. The time frame wasn't that long because I got bailed out.
What was it like in the correctional?
I seen cousins in there,
Mhm.
and once I seen my cousins, like, okay, hey, like, you're gonna be okay in here, because the cousin at the time was a higher up in one of the gangs. So
Mhm.
I was like, hey, you're gonna be taken care of, and
So you were relieved to see gang members.
I was relieved to see my cousin who was a gang member,
Yeah. Yeah.
for the first time.
Mhm.
But I ended up getting deuce less house arrest.
So that's 2 years less a day.
2 years less a day.
Yeah.
I remember going to court for a preliminary hearing. My lawyer at the time calls me into a side room, throws a pile of paper at me, says, read this over. I'll be back in 10 minutes. On the top, it reads 2 years less a day, lists all these conditions, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, well, I remember having the conversation with my lawyer, and he says we have a 50-50 chance of beating this case because I was in that stolen vehicle. So therefore, I could have put that cocaine. I didn't know it was there, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
So now he comes back in and he's like, okay, what do you think? I was like, nope, let's go to court. I wanna go to court. And he looked at me like I was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So we go into the courtroom. Now the room is empty. It's just the judge, the prosecutors, the officers, etc., court workers. My lawyer says to the judge, okay, Your Honor, my client respectfully declines the offer. And then everybody's head in the courtroom just all looked at me like, this guy.
They're never going to forget Arend Pechawis.
Like, this guy is insane. Like, why? What?
Yeah.
So then the prosecutors say to my lawyer, okay, Ron, we're taking this offer off of the table and it's no longer going to be offered. And once the prosecutor said that, I had a flash of my father in and out of jail, receiving jail calls from him, visiting him in jail. All of these flashes of my father kicked in. And then I thought of my kids. And I said to Ron, hey, Ron, can I have a minute with you? So we stepped back out into that room, and I said, give me that paper. And he says, why? What? Why the sudden change of heart? And I says, I don't want my kids to see me behind bars. I don't want my children to be receiving phone calls or letters from their father while he's in jail, because I knew what that was like. I lived that with my own father. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want that. So I signed that paper. And when I signed that paper, that was, I believe, the true beginning of my journey to becoming a better individual who is more driven, more focused, and ready to leave this old lifestyle behind and now be the father that my kids deserve, to be a present father, loving, caring. I had a vision of my late father. I haven't shared this with many people. I was lying on my couch and I was sober. I closed my eyes. All of a sudden, there's an open field. No houses, no lights, no cars, no roads. Just the open field, grass, trees, and the wind and blue sky. And I'm moving forward. And it's almost like at the airports when you're standing on those things that just move you.
Like cinematic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm just moving forward. I'm not walking. And all of a sudden I could see something standing in the middle of the field. And I'm still continuously moving forward. Now I can make out it's my father. And I'm looking at my dad. And I'm so happy to see him. And I'm like, hey, dad. Like, and my arms are wide open. And he has his hands in his pockets. And I can remember this so vividly of what he was wearing. It was so vivid. I could see his loose hairs blowing in the wind. And he had his hands in his pocket and he was looking at me. And I'm still moving forward. And I noticed he's not happy to see me. And I'm thinking, well, what? Why? Like, I'm so happy to see you. So now I'm get right to his face, and then it's like I pass through him. And then all of a sudden I like snapped out of it, and I turned over, and I'm panting, and I'm breathless, and I'm sweating, and I look at the clock, and 3 minutes passed by. I'm up all night. I couldn't sleep that night. I get to bed finally about 4 or 5 in the morning. The next day I wake up, and it hit me. It was a visit from my father to come see me, to let me know that he wasn't happy with the way that I was dealing with his death. He wants me to be better than he was.
Yeah.
He wants me to do better. It was a very dark, ugly path that I took myself down, and it was my choice, nobody else's. But I didn't know how to take accountability. I was still pointing the finger at this and that and him and her and all of this, so I was basically looking for excuses to go out and go party, and so I'm not having any kind of guiltiness or anything like that. And I always found one. It didn't matter. The healing part really came in, and my sobriety really came in when I met my partner. My partner, Jackie. We've been together 13 years. She ended up getting sober first before I did, and a year later, I jumped on that wagon. We actually met shortly after my dad's passing. We were both in a very low spot in our lives at the time, but when we crossed paths, it was the start to this journey that I'm on today.
Were you still like dealing at this time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because after I got busted, yes, I did go back to dealing. But as mentioned with the poker, that really took over. So that was my transition from trafficking narcotics to becoming a poker player, because it was fast money. And then I didn't have to look over my shoulder. I didn't have to worry about being robbed.
Did you get robbed? Like,
well,
often?
That not often. But I've had pistols and sawed-off shotguns stuck in my mouth, and been pistol whipped and bottled and beat up and jumped, and but
all over drugs.
All mixed with drugs, mixed with the lifestyle of just partying and being at the wrong place at the wrong time. When you're under the influence, you're not thinking straight. You go where the booze is. You go where the party is. Ended up in some pretty shady spots.
You had a shotgun in your mouth.
Oh yeah, sawed-off shotgun right by St. Paul's Hospital.
Really?
It was actually initially pointed at my younger brother, and I stepped in front of it because I was the protector of my younger brother. His father wasn't there for him either, so.
You're just getting like a random robbery?
That was a random robbery, yes.
Wow.
We actually had just come from the bar that time. We had white shirts on, white dress shirts, and white shirts, white clothing is not accepted in the hood around these parts.
I didn't know that.
Because white is Native Syndicate.
Oh.
And black is TS, Terror Squad.
Mm-hmm.
And it was some people with the black thought that we were rival gangs. So they came up and ran up on us and did all that stuff. And I was like, yo, man, like, no, we ain't no gang members, bro. We just got the wrong shirt colors on tonight, you know? But they don't see that because they're so far gone into that lifestyle of being a gang member that this is our territory, right? So it's like I didn't blame them. They didn't know any better, right? So I'm just thankful that me and my brother were able to get away and walk away that day. And yeah, we got beat up and we got hit and bottled and stuff like that, but we're still here. So, you know, and my brother's all right. So,
Wow.
yeah, man.
So tell me about the day you got sober.
I didn't plan on it. You know, I didn't say, okay, this is the day. It just happened. There was just something in me that was just sick of this lifestyle of the hangovers, of going to the drunk tank. I've been to the drunk tank 20, 25 times, 4 DUI convictions, trafficking, narcotics charges, theft, assaults, all these other charges, and it all stemmed from the booze, the partying, the trauma, the hurt, the pain of not being able to navigate myself in a healthy manner because I never had that, you know? Like my mother tried her best, but a woman cannot raise a man. You need a man to raise a man. And I never had that, right? So I was navigating blind and just trying to get by and trying to do what I could on things that I knew and things that I had learned and stuff like that. It was a grungy time, but at the same time, I'm very thankful for the history and the dark times because without those times, you know, I wouldn't be here where I am today. I wouldn't know what that side of the life looks like.
You wouldn't be in this studio.
And I would not be sitting here on Hard Knocks Talks.
Yeah.
Right?
Lived experience is an education second to none.
Yes,
And
100%.
This table's run by lived experience.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's a pleasure to be here.
What's your clean date?
It was around my birthday, March 14th. I don't remember the exact date, but it's been going on 11 years now that I've been sober.
And what did your last day of addiction look like? What were you thinking? What were you feeling?
Honestly, I don't even remember where I was.
You just popped up out of the fog.
I just kind of said enough is enough. Like
Yeah.
I've had it. Like I can't live my life like this anymore. I'm gonna end up in jail for a very long time. I'm gonna end up dead. I'm gonna end up in the hospital. All of these things that I've seen so many of my people end up in. My father, my uncles, cousins, best friends, all these, you know, 2 of my uncles died from alcoholism, cirrhosis of the liver. One of my best friends died from cirrhosis of the liver.
Parenting in the Storm is a 2-day experiential retreat-style workshop Donna and I created based on our own lived experiences with parenting through addiction, child apprehension, family court, and the long road back to trust and connection. It's a space for parents or caregivers in or seeking recovery who want to rebuild communication, peace, and hope with their partner or co-parent and model healthy relationships for their children. We don't come as clinicians. We come as parents who've walked that path and are finding our way back. If you want more information or would like to bring Parenting in the Storm to your community or organization, or even if you'd like to make a donation so we can bring this to more parents, all that information is in the show notes below. Wellness News Choice for Healthy Living is a local resource that works to connect people to health and wellness-related products, services, and expert advice from industry professionals, locally allowing us to connect and engage. Check out wellnessnews.ca or skwellnesshub.ca today to learn more. If you want to support the channel, there are a few ways. By becoming a paid member right here on YouTube and get early access to new episodes, you can buy us a coffee or you can pick up some merch. Links to all that stuff is in the show notes below. And of course, always remember to give us a like, leave us a a comment. And if you're new, a sub to the channel would mean the world to us because it all helps us keep getting louder. What did your first year look like?
My first year was, I was just like thankful to be able to get to where I wanted to be for so long, but just never fully committed. Never had that person supporting me in my life to, hey, like, let's do this. We can do this together.
Peer
type,
support.
You know, like that. That's what I needed. It was that one person who I spend most of my time with to say, hey, let's do better. Let's be better. So
Man, I need that to this day.
yeah, man.
You know?
Yes, for sure, bro. For sure. Yeah. So yeah, just thankful for it all, though.
Yeah.
You know, like truly, truly thankful for it all, because it's shaped me and molded me into the individual that I am today. Like with the counseling really helped tremendously.
Were there any aha moments?
Oh, yes. When you sit there and you're describing yourself and trying to get out as much as you can to somebody who doesn't know you, and then they're able to understand you and say these things that just resonate with you, that makes so much sense. She had mentioned things of being honest, being vulnerable, being open, being truthful, which at first I wasn't with her, and she knew it right away.
Even in you were sober now.
Yes.
And still you're trying to like protect your ego type
Still,
thing.
I don't know, as being a man, not being vulnerable, right? Like having to put on that steel mask and that steel suit and all that.
Yeah.
Right?
Trying to impress her with all the bad shit.
Trying to, like, you know, like steer away from that part because I didn't know how to still at the time. I didn't know how to
be vulnerable,
lay my heart on the table and be like, let's talk about me now. It was always me trying to help others, right? And be there for others to help guide them. But when it comes to myself, I didn't know how. I didn't know what healing was. I didn't know what crying was. I didn't know any of that thing, any of that stuff. So that counseling really helped me. It helped me tremendously. She said some magnificent things that really stuck with me to this day. And it's like
what?
Well,
I'm digging deep here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, it was things like, calling me out on my bullshit. Right.
Do you remember the first time that happened?
Oh yeah.
Let's hear it.
What
were you doing?
We were sitting and she was just, asking me questions about certain things and basically about my emotions and my feelings, the deep down nitty gritty. And I was giving her a little bit, and then she just basically told me, like, you're lying, like bullshit, like tell me the truth. And I kind of just remember looking at her. I was like, wow, like, this woman's smart.
Do you remember what you were trying to tell her?
Well, not exactly.
Yeah.
Not the exact words, but it was me trying to be open. I was trying to talk about Dad. I was trying to talk about my disconnection with family and, things like that. But I wasn't really at that time. I didn't know how. So I was saying what I knew I could without my voice getting shaky or without me trembling or tears coming out my eyes, So I just gave her a little bit and she knew right away. And when she called me out, that was the change in our discussions after that, because now I have a safe space. Now I felt safe. I'm like, okay, like, yes.
Isn't it interesting how someone can call you out like that and it actually builds trust instead of takes it away?
1,000,000%.
Like you can trust them more than you can trust yourself.
100.
Like someone who puts that boundary up for you, like you're lying,
Yes.
And they do it in such a way that like you can't argue with them.
Yes. No, it was great. I thank her for that so much.
Yeah. That's one of the things that my mom did for me was she gave me the gift of accountability. Like when I came into recovery, I was starting to ask her for rides to this place or to that place, and she's like, no. And she went and bought me a cheap pawn shop bike, and she said, pedal your ass. So it's moments like that, like the gift of accountability,
right?
Stuff like that. So are there any other moments, like early on You know, like now you found someone that you can't lie to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you found comfort in that,
Yes,
you know, for the first time probably,
that's right.
because you've lied to everyone.
That's right.
Now you have a chance to practice not lying.
Yes.
What did that feel like?
It was different.
Yeah.
You know, because especially having that hustler's mind mentality, you only give a little bit of yourself.
So you're trying to hustle the counselor.
You know, it's like, okay, I'm going to figure you out before you figure me out.
Yeah.
But it's like, no way.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not going to happen. And
Yeah.
she knew it. She called me out immediately. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know a lot more than I thought, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. But it's like, so the counseling, the sobriety, the schooling, finding out about anxiety and depression and PTSD and trauma and all of these things that I knew a little about, but never really dove in to that type of realm before. I was scared. I was intimidated. I was shy. I didn't know what to expect, right? But lo and behold, when an individual is able to take those first steps and step out of that comfort zone, that is when doors will start opening.
So what were some of the first doors that started opening for you then?
My own mental health, first and foremost. And once that doorway opened up, I fully committed. How do I get here? How do I get, like, what do I need to do to understand me? Because that's here, right? Everything is here. It's your mind and your heart. And those are connected. Now you start connecting the dots with yourself on why certain things were the way they were in the past. Why you did certain things that you did in the past. Jumping into a car to steal it, right? ADHD. You don't think before you act, right? So all of these things, all of these little things started popping up, and like, okay, hey, like that could be connected to this, maybe that. But it really opened up that new realm of understanding me, of who I was, what I was about, in that new realm of healing. Because once you're able to tap into this and understand this, now that opens up these other doors of the healing, of the grief and loss, of facing things that we've always ran from in our life, whatever it was, our hurt and our pain, our own trauma.
So when you started like having these realizations, like listening to your partner talk about anxiety and depression and trauma and PTSD, what was it that you started to change?
First and foremost, the thing was just to stop pointing the finger and looking at myself in the mirror and understanding and realizing that I am the one in control of me. I'm the one in control of how I react to certain situations. I'm the one in control of how I respond, if it even deserves a response, right? Because I'm also very huge on protecting my own energy and protecting my own well-being, of not getting involved in nonsense discussions with other people about whatever it may be.
Drama, whatever.
Whatever it is. It's like, no, thank you. I'm going to stay over here because I want to continuously taking the steps to better myself so I can be better. So therefore my children can be better. Therefore my partner can be better. Therefore my unit family is going to be better. And then future grandchildren, et cetera, for generations to come, right? The feelings and the emotions and the thoughts that were attached to it is what really kept me away from really diving into it.
Like resentments and stuff?
The resentments, the anger, the hurt. It's like, well, I don't want to feel these emotions today. I don't want to feel this right now. I don't want to relive this encounter that happened here.
But also punishing the people that did that to you isn't going to make you feel better.
Exactly.
And understanding that.
Exactly.
You know, and understanding that you may not ever get the apology that you wanted in the way that you wanted it.
Right.
Things like that. Like,
Yes.
am I on point here?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And the thing too, it also brought me a voice. Right? It connected my mind, body, spirit my emotions, my thoughts, everything with me. It really helped me understand me and to be able to just be me, right? Without having to feel embarrassment, without having to feel ashamed of tears coming down my face or whatever the case. So that for me was the biggest transition of accepting me and my emotions and allow myself to feel these emotions. So therefore I could get to the healing stages, right? If we don't do that, we're never going to get to that door of healing. It's just not going to appear because we're still in denial. We're still pointing fingers. We're not taking accountability. We're still blaming. It's like, no, let's take the steps necessary for ourselves to open up these new doorways that are waiting for us that just may not be visible yet.
Do you remember any moments that you were able to let go of resentment?
I still struggle with that today. There's still some things that I still need to work on and fully commit to forgive, right? I still got to forgive myself for a lot of things, right? I haven't done that, which then leads to other people that I still need to forgive. My father being one of them. I still haven't fully accepted that, that I won't have that opportunity to build that relationship, right? So now it's being 44 years old. It's like, okay, write down letters, right? Do things for yourself that are going to help you get to a better stage and a better point of within yourself. Journaling, writing journals, writing a letter to a past loved one, right? Things like that. Praying, I talk to my dad all the time, right? I talk to my late cousin Sturgis all the time.
Do you tell him how angry you are?
Yeah, with Dad I do.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. He knows how much hurt he caused in my life from not being there for me. But then again, he had his own addictions, his own traumas, residential times, school era times, right? All of these things. So I don't fully blame him, but I do blame him, right? And it's like I know once I'm able to fully forgive him for not being a part of my life, I just know that there will be a weight that will be lifted off of my spirit because I carry that every day. And the more and more I hold on to it, the longer it's going to take for me to get to where I want to be.
Yeah.
Right. So it's hard. It's hard, this healing, man. It's hard, man. The thing is we're all deserving of it. We deserve it. You deserve it. Donna deserves it. I deserve it. Jackie. So many other people that you had on the podcast, right? We all are deserving of it. And it's when we have this energy that's connecting of two people, of two spirits, and we're sitting here and we're able to talk and discuss about whatever it is that we could discuss. That's healing. This podcast is healing, right? You've done amazing things, Daniel. You and your wife, and I always tell you guys this, and I'm just very proud to be able to have this connection with you guys, to be able to be here today on your show podcast of Hard Knocks Talks, and share a little bit of my own journey.
Yeah.
You know,
when you were on stage at Empowered to Recover, you were talking about energies and how that's real and how energies can be transmuted and transferred between each other. When did you start coming into that realization, and how did that realization change the way that you think, that you live?
Energy doesn't lie. People lie. Energy does not lie. So when I feel something and I'm drawn to something, I need to decipher whether it's going to be a good thing for me or if it's going to be a negative thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I feel any negativity, I'm going to stay away. I don't want to put myself in a negative field of energy. I want to surround myself with positive energy because then we're going to feed off of each other. And people are going to feel better after that conversation that you have with whatever individual.
Yeah.
Right?
You're a speaker. You're an aspiring speaker. You would like to share your story.
I feel like I'm a healer, like I'm a helper. That's what I feel my purpose on this life is while my spirit's in this body. That's what I feel I'm meant to do. And I feel I do that on a day-to-day basis. It doesn't matter where I go. I'm always trying to spread some love and some joy to whomever I can.
Well, if you're listening and you want to reach out to Arend, I will put a link to his Facebook in the show notes. And if you want to bring him up onto your community, up on stage, help him share some hope. Arend, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure walking with you through your story.
Thank you so much, Daniel. It was a pleasure, my friend. Thank you.
Take good care.
Hey, you too.
Hold up. If this hit home or made you think, help us get these stories out there. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and before you go, check out another episode. The more you engage, the more the algorithm shares these voices with the people who need to hear them. Big shout out to SEIU West, our official equipment sponsor, improving the lives of working people and their families and leading the way to a more just and humane society. Find their link in the show notes.
Say, this is Hard Knocks Talks.